ESPN Bakersfield welcomes you to the Fantasy Breakdown, giving you the weekly edge and knowledge to dominate your league.
Let's turn this game around!
Providing the starters, sitters, sleepers, and creepers every Sunday, live from 8 to 9 a.m.
Here we go.
The ball is loose. It's a fumble.
Brought to you by Muerto's Kitchen and Lounge, Fusion Energy, Safari Carpet Cleaning, and the law offices of Kyle Jones. Phone lines are open at 842-2000.
Guess what? That don't mean nothing, man. The only thing matters is a win. That's it. However, whatever it takes. Let's go, man. Let's win on three. 1, 2, 3, win.
And now, let's get the show rolling with your hosts, Sparky, Earffman, and the Boombastic.
Well, good morning, Bakersfield. Happy Sunday.
Good morning. How you doing, Sparky?
I'm good. I'm awake.
Yeah, it's about more than I can say right now.
And the good thing is this is the last Sunday for the rest of the year.
It's the last Sunday.
No football. It's the last Sunday.
Cannot wait. Thursday night.
What's that, the Patriots?
Thursday night, yeah, we got the Patriots and the Chiefs.
Yeah,
Gotta keep it PC. I can't say what I like to call the Chiefs.
My boys' school always lines up back to school night with the opening kickoff game. So luckily this year's a Patriot game, so I can go this year.
As a Dolphin fan, I will opt to miss that one.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Is that where you and your family are at on that?
Pretty much. I'll get updates on my phone, but
I'll let you know how the GOAT does.
Yeah.
I'll send you updates and pictures and all that.
Let me know when you hear this.
It's broke. It's broke. It's broke.
That's all I need to hear.
That's not going to happen on Tom there, man. All right.
Well, this is the Fantasy Breakdown. I'm Sparky. That's the Earffman. And we're here to, keep you updated on injuries, lineup changes, trades, and much more. And it's going to get real stinky in the next couple of weeks.
It's the last week right here, man. This is it. I got 3 drafts. Preseason's done. If you're in a league that is doing things proper, we'll call it doing things proper, then all about you know who's out, who's in, who to pick up, who not to pick up.
Don't draft Spencer Ware, stuff like that.
Yeah, things like that. There was a draft I did, no joke, last week. A guy drafted Meredith, Ware, and Edelman. I don't know if it was a joke. I'm serious. But if you listen to this show, there are things that we teach you and things that just give you the knowledge.
Yeah, and
like
it's going to help out, especially during the season, because, when people go down, like, oh, who's the backup? I don't know who that guy is, and we're going to help you on waivers. Well. But I want to start the show, like I always do, giving a big shout-out and thank you to all of our sponsors. Safari Carpet Cleaning, best in town. You can always give them a call for a 10% off discount when you tell them you heard about them right here on the Fantasy Breakdown. And I'll just tell you right now, you might want to keep it tuned because there might be a nice little carpet cleaning giveaway a little bit later. But
they gave us the go ahead to do a nice giveaway. Yeah, the green light, if you will.
But give them a call, 330-8463, and Muerto's Kitchen and Lounge. Damn, man, I need some Muertos in my life. It's been a little too long since I've been down to Muerto's, and I've heard there's a new burger or two on the menu. I haven't got to try them out. I don't even know what the hell they are yet.
Well, I mean, you know me, though. I'm not interested unless it's made of soy. So,
yeah, I'm not sure that. I don't think that's a soy burger that they came out with, but I'll let you know if it does. Let's go with Fusion Energy, 877-389-4660. Check them out at fusionenergy.com. It's a local solar company. Some local young guys started up their own solar company, and they're getting new. They got some new ads coming in the next couple of weeks, so we'll let you know a little bit more about them. Then the law offices of Kyle Jones, free consultation. Give them a call, 833-1090 or kwjonslaw.com. And this is a special week. It's been a busy week for both of us.
Very true.
I want to give out a big welcome to 2 new sponsors for the program. First off, Advanced Security. Give them a call, 589-9700. Check them out at advancedsecurity.biz. These guys are legit.
Thank you very much, people.
They've been around for a while.
We appreciate it here at the Fantasy Breakdown.
Of course. So give them a call. Like I said, Advanced Security, 589-9700. For a free quote, you can always give Bill Holt a call. That's the main man at Advanced Security. And then Farmers Insurance, where you can get the best home, life, and auto insurance. Give local agent Catherine Hall a call at 829-7904. She is local. She's located over at Callaway Drive, Suite 104. And I'm a big fan of hers. I got to meet her this week, and we started talking, money-wise, a little side show I do during the week.
Yep.
And she's talking money, and we got into football. I think I was wearing a Dolphin hat like I usually do.
I'm sorry.
She said, you play fantasy football? I said, yeah, you play fantasy football? And she said, yeah, me and my daughter have been playing for a few years, and that's their getaway. Just
that's
them
hot.
two. And I was like, man, I didn't know there was that many women, especially teaming up with their daughters playing fantasy football. That's just so damn dope. But give her a call.
That's awesome. That's
Catherine Hall at 829-7904. We're going to take a little early break because we have a lot of crap to get into.
In the next segment, we're going to talk about some the injuries, new suspensions, other suspensions, people returning, people leaving.
Trades everywhere.
Yeah.
Patriots were all over the place with trades.
Sort of a busy week.
But you can always give us a call at 842-2000 anytime during the show. We're also streaming live at BakersfieldESPN.com. And check out our Facebook page for up-to-date NFL news. Just search on Facebook, the Fantasy Breakdown. So when we get back, like we said, we're going to talk injuries, suspensions, and trades. Get you ready for week 1.
Get some coffee.
Yes, get some coffee, a piece of toast, and radio turned up with some Tupac in the background at 8 in the morning.
8 in the morning.
But stay right here on ESPN Bakersfield, 1230 a.m.
98.1 FM.
The Fantasy Breakdown is live every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. and is brought to you by Safari Carpet Cleaning and Muerto's Kitchen and Lounge, right here on ESPN Bakersfield, 1230 a.m., 98.1 FM.
Welcome back to the Fantasy Breakdown. I'm Sparky. That's the Earffman.
God, I miss corn.
Me too.
I love that early stuff.
I love all of it, dude.
Yep.
I'm a big corn fan. So we're going to go over some suspensions and some injury reports, some pickups. It's been a busy last 72 hours with a lot of teams wrapping up preseason and trimming down to 53. So the first off, I wanted to start out with the receiver I drafted in a couple leagues, and I forgot all about his damn suspension. But New Orleans Saints receiver Willie Snead is suspended for the first 3 games. His offseason charges of violating the league's NFL conduct policy.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah.
Was he out screwing around?
I think he was driving under the influence.
Oh, good going, Willie.
So, 3 games. I think it was originally 4, but now he's at 3. I'm not sure if that's going to really – I know he's a big offensive weapon in New Orleans.
Well, I think he was moving into the slot. Pretty sure that they're leaving Thomas on the edge. I know they brought in Ginn to sort of fill Brandon Cooks' spot.
Yeah, just run.
But yeah, pretty much. But, this could sort of open the door for the other Brandon Coleman. I'm not telling people to go out there and pick him up or draft him. But I don't know, maybe somebody to sort of put on the radar. I mean, it is Drew Brees. I mean, he did throw for 300 yards last year. It's ridiculous. And Michael Thomas isn't going to have 3,000 yards receiving.
No.
So,
No.
So I mean, for 3 games, and if Coleman does a great job, I mean, I don't really know how Peyton works, or how he is in regards to suspensions and all that. But not saying that clearly Snead's the better talent because he's the starter.
He's in the offense.
But just saying. I mean, if Coleman puts in work and does well, then I mean he could stick to that spot.
They put another suspension out. I know it has nothing to do with fantasy football, but former Packer Pro Bowler Mr. Sam Shields, which I was hoping Miami was going to pick up this offseason. But obviously, I guess he had a a weed possession. So I think that's what scared a lot of teams away from him. But he got suspended 2 games yesterday, too.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to update some injuries like we always do. News out of Denver. Quarterback Paxton Lynch will be out the first month, maybe 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. So he's still ailing with that shoulder injury. The main reason I think why Denver brought back Brock Osweiler yesterday, which was surprising as hell. But after I read up on it a little bit more, then I saw, Cleveland is still paying this guy $15 million.
Yeah, he's guaranteed like $16 million or something. I was like, you gotta be kidding me, dude. I can throw just as good as Brock, dude.
I mean, he just fell into a pot of gold.
I'm
when
not
Houston
7 foot, but I mean, seriously, I'll go take like a couple punches to the mouth from Khalil Mack or whoever else is out there at linebacker coming in to kill me, for $16 million. I'm cool with that.
I couldn't believe when Houston got out of that whole. They're the ones that started this whole damn thing, and Cleveland picked it up, and then now Cleveland dumped him, and within 12 hours he was going back to Denver.
Yeah, even still, how does I personally have yet to own a Denver receiver, and I just don't think I'm going to. Like I said, I have 3 drafts left. I'm not saying I won't draft Demaryius or Emmanuel.
I've kind of
But
stared away from him.
I don't like Simeon.
No.
Denver doesn't like Paxson. And
for some reason,
he can't win the starting job. He can't hit a moving target to save it. I don't even know if he can hit one that's standing still. I mean, you heard about all the crap with the receivers,
he was bad.
Yelling at him and getting at it with them, and I mean, I know Demaryius still had 90 catches last year and over 1,000 yards, but there's just no great quarterback talent there, and I've seen people taking Demaryius as their wide receiver 1 after going back-to-back backs in rounds 1 and 2. I'm going to talk about this later in the show, but just kind of pump the brakes on that and think about what you're doing there. I almost would rather have a receiver that's got Tom or Drew or Aaron throwing to you instead of making – now, Demaryius is talented, but talent doesn't matter if you can't get the ball to the guy. So
I used to pick up Emmanuel Sanders because he was a great PPR receiver. He always got his.
I know.
But now these quarterbacks, I stayed away from him this year.
Well, as soon as Noodle Arm Peyton showed up, it's just been downhill for all of them over there. So anyway,
Noodle
go ahead.
Arms. Wow, Giants wide receiver Brandon Marshall returned to practice this week. It looks like Odell is still out, but word out of New York yesterday. But he's hopeful to play Week 1. We'll keep you updated next Sunday before you start.
Before
throwing him
before
in
it matters.
Your lineup.
Yeah. I think he'll be all right. It was just
He's a
small
tough guy.
ankle tweak.
But Colts Andrew Luck is finally off the damn PUP list.
Some good news for...
He's on the active roster, but coach still unlikely to play in Week 1 versus the Rams. And that kind of mixed it up again. I don't know why the hell they waited until cut day, but they traded small receiver Philip Dorsett over to New England for a backup quarterback, Jacob Brissett. So I'm not sure if they traded one of their number 3, number 4 receivers for a third-string quarterback.
Yeah, T.Y.'s still young and very talented, and not Dorsett, but so is Moncrief. Doyle seems to have some promise. Yeah, but odd, though, that they went with Jacoby Brissett because of his skill set. It's much different than Luck.
What Indy does in offense.
Like what Brissett did last year with New England with the whole running. I mean, like I said, if he starts one of the weeks, it's kind of a surprise. It'd be interesting to see. I own Ty in the league, and it's got me a little unnerved. Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, I know Scott's been horrible, so I mean, I guess anything could be better than that. So we'll see. And not that. Now, St. Louis they're making good moves. I like what they're doing over there. Finally, they got someone that's not trying to be mediocre like old Fisher, but still have to see how they do. And I know they're all-pro tackle or whatever he is, Donald, still holding out. And I'm pretty sure what I understand is he's fighting rookie contracts. That's what he's up against. He wants that Sam Bradford money.
Yeah, don't we all? But no, they have Brissett in there. I'm not sure how long. Luck is supposed to be out Week 1, maybe Week 2. So we'll see how bad Tolzien looks in week 1. He might get cut after this week. But another quarterback came back, Joe Flacco in Baltimore.
Falco? Oh, sorry, Flacco. My bad.
Flacco. He has been missing for about 5-6 weeks. Team says he is throwing with the starting group and should be playing week 1 against the Bengals. So usually that tier 2 or 3 when Flacco usually gets picked. I didn't see him get picked at all this year.
I don't think he really gets picked up ever. He's more of like a waiver guy or like a deep.
Your quarterback gets hurt.
Like I'm talking deep, like a deep quarterback league. You know, if you're playing like a 16-man league or maybe a super flex or one of those things. Still, I don't know. But it's good news for Wallace and Woodhead. I still like Woodhead over there. Way more than Terrence West. I mean, even though Woodhead is only 5'2" and 12 pounds, but
Who's the other receiver over there? Mike Wallace and
I can't. I'm drawing a blank right now.
I always forget about the
It's
Ravens
not Perriman,
receivers.
I don't think. It might be Perriman. I can't remember right now. I just don't pay attention to Baltimore.
No.
It's far away.
Mediocre. But
I try to stay away from mediocrity.
Yes, of course. Another guy that came off the pup, which doesn't really matter in fantasy unless you play individual defensive players like we do. But Ziggy Ansah is back on the team with Detroit. That was
Ziggy.
I've been waiting for them. He was a big part of my defensive teams last year. He killed it. 2 trades I want to touch base on real quick. Jets sent defensive lineman Sheldon Richardson over to the Seahawks for a second-round pick next year, and wide receiver Jermaine Kearse, who has spent the last 5 seasons with the Seahawks, is now a Jet, sadly, for that
poor guy.
But he'll probably get some more money. Last year, he got 40 catches, 500 yards, and a touchdown, so he's a mediocre 3 or 4
until
receiver.
New York does something, Hey, for all of you guys out there DFS and Buffalo is looking nice for week 1, the defense there. So if you're looking to do a plug-in on there, hey, by the way, if you haven't done your lineup yet, do the $1 billion challenge.
That's on NFL.com.
No,
right?
it's DraftKings.
Oh, DraftKings.
Right. So do that though. Do yourself a favor and do the $1 billion challenge. And I don't know. Like I said, Buffalo's looking nice against New York. If you're playing fantasy and you're someone like me that drafts a defense super late, Buffalo's a great plug. They're playing the Jets week 1. That organization is a mess right now. The only person,
fire sales over there.
They're trying to sell Forte. The only person you really got to worry about, in my opinion, right now is Powell. But like I said, that's a good plug right there.
I don't even know who the hell's on that team anymore, besides
that's
Forte.
it. They sold everybody else. Everyone else is gone. So.
The Steelers also traded their 7th-round pick and wide receiver Sammy Coates over to the Cleveland Browns for a 6th-round pick. He got 2 touchdowns, and I think it was close to 450 yards last season with Pittsburgh. But now that Martavius Bryant is back on the active roster, he can fully participate. I think that was pretty much, let's see if we can get a draft pick out of Coates.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, plus, they got good talent over there anyway. What's his name? Eli Rogers looked pretty nice in a couple preseason games.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So that Coates has been just meh. Anyway, And by the way, other receiver across from Wallace, Macklin.
Macklin, that's
I
right.
forgot about Macklin. I want to thank my buddy Zach for that.
Nice.
Listening in Kansas.
Uh-huh. In Pittsburgh Steeler camp, Le'Veon Bell returned to Pittsburgh, like he said, on Friday. He's ready to play week 1 against Cleveland.
Thank you, Jesus. I got him in 2 leagues.
I will be starting him week 1. I think that's the only starter I put in right now. But we got some other things to go over the next segment.
One more injury real quick.
What you got?
Kind of like an injury and a release. So a lot of people in San Francisco were sort of talking big about this rookie running back, Joe Williams. And a lot of people were, early on, they were talking about Hyde's going to get cut. He's going to get, and this and that. And then I guess Hyde showed up to camp, looks really good, looks really healthy. I think he's even cut a little bit of weight. And Joe Williams, unfortunately, has been placed on season-ending IR. So we won't get a full look at him until 2018. And they also cut Tim Hightower, which I was surprised. If there's any indication that, hey, we are moving forward with Carlos Hyde this year, that is it. Now, as far as from a fantasy perspective, to me, that's great news. Hyde's a great talent as long as he can stay healthy. So go out there and pick up yourself a nice, solid running back, too, right now, because his only competition on that depth chart right now is I'm not even sure who Mustard. I'm not sure who Mustard is.
Frenches?
Yeah, and then Capri Bibbs and
who?
Capri Bibbs.
What?
So you got Mustard and Bibbs, and like I said, Carlos is clearly going to run that backfield unless his legs fall off.
Like they did last year.
So, and I also heard, I'll double check on it. So when we come back, I guess Alshon's already dealing with a hamstring injury. Nothing new there. Those things are made of Play-Doh. So,
Oh, they knew what they were getting when they got him.
Yeah,
so.
I'll like I said, I'll double check on that during the break, and we'll report back on that when we come back. And
well, like I said, call in anytime. 842-2000. We're also streaming live on BakersfieldESPN.com. In the next segment, I want to go through a few cuts that happened over this weekend and kind of bounce them off you and let me know if these guys' careers are over or maybe a few of them will be over in Frisco backing up Hyde.
Yeah, there's a couple interesting ones. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, we'll dive into that right after this break right here on ESPN Bakersfield, 1230 a.m.
98.1 FM.
ESPN Bakersfield, 1230 AM, 98.1 FM, is the home of the Oakland Raiders and Fantasy Talk. So let's get back to the Fantasy Breakdown with your hosts, Sparky, Earffman, and the Boombastic.
Wait, you got that.
Welcome back to the Fantasy Breakdown. This is Sparky over there. That's the Earffman. So NFL teams had to trim their rosters down to 53 players.
They had to give the little snip.
By 1 p.m. yesterday. And I want to bounce off a couple released players and see if you think any of these guys are done or they're going to find a new team in the next few weeks.
I don't know, man. I think a few of these guys are castrated.
Yeah, I think a couple of them.
I think that's it.
When I read it at first, I was like, are you serious? Like, this guy's not on this team anymore?
Yeah? So what you got?
Well, we'll start off with the Patriots parting ways with their 6-year veteran running back Brandon Bolden. Hasn't really been a big part of the team the last season or two.
Unless you ask Jeff Fisher.
Yeah, of course. Huh?
I forgot about that last year. It was Woodhead. Dude, Woodhead hasn't been there
in years.
Dude, he was in San Diego the last time that happened. What are you talking? What? That's why you don't have a job.
Well, he had close to 300 yards his rookie year. I think that was his best season.
Yeah, he looked.
But like we said right before we went to the break, there's some teams like the Niners and a couple others that they have a spot for another running back unless you have these guys you just said.
Yeah, like I said, unless something crazy happens, or unless San Francisco's, I don't know. They're probably done. San Francisco themselves.
Yeah.
It's
gonna be a better team though. I think with
Bolden's
Lynch.
young. Bolden's still young, dude. So he could wind up somewhere else. As far as being fantasy relevant, I don't see a scenario where he goes somewhere at this point and changes something.
No,
like at all. Really,
I could probably see him going back to New England if they have any injury issues with White or something.
They do that
like that
for some reason.
Or he can always get picked up by the Chargers, where they usually pick up Patriot trash. But you never know. You never know. Bears also released Victor Cruz, which was surprising after a few injuries over there with Meredith.
Yeah, well, once Meredith went down, you would think that
he was going to be a lock.
Not that Cruz is I feel bad for the guy because he lost apparently whatever edge he had when he got hurt, man. It just sort of ended his career, kind of destroyed his mojo. He lost the salsa, man.
Last year he had 580-something yards and 1 touchdown. So I figure,
he'd be interesting in the slot, I would think.
You would think.
He was quick. Unless he just doesn't have that ability anymore.
Yeah, if he's just slow or he's just I don't know. The guy used to be a stud, and this was going to be his first year away from New York, and nothing.
No, I think he was I'm pretty sure he was in Chicago last year.
Was he?
Pretty sure, but I don't think
I thought he played like 4 or 5 games last season in New York and then was done.
He didn't. I mean, he didn't play many. The Bears receivers have.
Let me get that answer from your boy in Kansas. Where was Victor Cruz last year?
He'll probably send it over.
I might be able to send a gift card over to McDonald's or something for you if you can get that for me. Cardinals let Chris Johnson go, who, going into his 10th season, which doesn't happen very often with running backs, but his good days were years away. But
yeah, long ago.
He still got that name, Chris Johnson. He's a stud, but the last couple years in Arizona, it hasn't been real good. But they, he had 800 yards before Johnson came in, and Johnson kind of just blew up last year. So we'll see. Chris Johnson, I can see getting picked up somewhere. Miami doesn't have the veteran presence on their depth chart at running back, and I can see him getting picked up for some reason.
I think Johnson could go somewhere else. I don't know about San Francisco. I forget San Francisco has. However, if Juszczyk, Kyle, the fullback, however you say his last name, is like JUZZZZZCYK ZZZZ. It's like it was, But I forgot they have him. He's definitely a different type of fullback, so he'll probably get worked in with Hyde also. But still, Hyde will be the monster there. They released Capri Bibbs.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, so I was incorrect with that statement about Bibbs being there.
So they don't.
So he's gone. So they still got
anybody.
Mustard, or I don't know how you say his name. But I'm just gonna call him Mustard again.
Mustard.
You still got him and let's say Jizik or whatever, and Matt Breda. Pretty much a bunch of guys that aren't Carlos Hyde.
Yeah.
So that that's all you need to know.
And if Carlos Hyde is Carlos Hyde from the last year or two, they might be looking for some depth very, very soon.
Yeah, but Johnson could go somewhere, and I'm not saying he's going to be fantasy relevant either, but he could end up with it employed again. So,
And I know this one doesn't matter to anybody, but I've always had this soft spot for Mr. Matt Barkley. He was drafted by Philly, stayed there for a couple years, didn't work out, shipped him to Arizona, never played a game, then started 6 games for the Bears last season, threw 1,600 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions. He's done, I think, pretty much. The Niners let him go. I thought he was going to have, in the offseason when it first started, he was looking good. The Niners were talking about, we got a battle at quarterback.
Between him and
just
Hoyer.
All panned out. Hoyer lit him up in practice. I remember it was one of those same backup quarterbacks that were getting trash talked by his own receivers. And
Barkley was?
Yeah, and it was bad. So I think Barkley's probably done.
Who was talking bad about him? Was it Pierre Garbage?
Probably. I don't remember who the hell it was. All those Niners. I'm not a big West Coast team follower, but I was thinking Barkley was going to, at least after getting some starts last season, he was going to give Hoyer
a little run. I don't know. Hoyer's okay. I think that word pretty much sums it up. I don't know much about Barkley, but 16-14 is not the best in the world. I don't remember what Hoyer did last year, but he's all right. But
still a
the Redskins cut Matt Jones.
Matt Jones,
and I don't know what the problem is with this guy. Now, from what I remember, his rookie season, he looked great. I mean, he usurped Alfred Morris, and Alfred Morris, was a great back for a couple years up there. And I don't know what happened.
He had 490 yards.
Did he have 400 fumbles?
His rookie
is that what happened?
And 460 last year.
Because he's a pretty good receiver.
He's a solid backup.
He's a pretty big guy. I thought he was going to take over the job in Washington, and then they rolled out and they grabbed Fat Rob, and now they're using Fat Rob, and then they grabbed this other rookie, Sam J. Perrin, and I'm not saying I'm surprised. For whatever reason, Gruden hates Matt Jones and said, go find work somewhere else. And I kind of think he will. Now, something I have heard and read here on other sources and stuff is that apparently Philly isn't happy with the old 420, with old Garrett. And not that they're not happy with him, but I guess he's for some reason, people just think that LeGarrette is quick and elusive, and they don't realize he weighs 600 pounds, and just likes to run people over. And I don't know why Philly's running him next to Wentz and trying to get him out on the edges and have him to where he makes one cut and turns the corner. Blunt's not that kind of runner.
No, that's Sproles.
Like most of his runs in New England last year were from the power set or with a fullback, and he tore it up. Like New England was like, hey, see, this is why New England wins championships. Other than the fact that they have the GOAT sitting over there, is they know what to do with people's skill sets. And so, but anyway, I guess there's been interest in Matt Jones from Philly. Now,
I can see that.
So I don't know if that's going to happen or not. As you said, they're sort of like a crowded backfield also, with Smallwood and I forget the kid's name that's over there right now. It's eluding my brain right now. It's too early for me still. But they're still pretty crowded. And if Jones goes there, I don't know, it's just going to be kind of a mess. I'm just surprised that Blunt or that Philly's trying to use Blunt in that aspect. So that's something to keep an eye on, especially if you're a Blunt owner at this point.
I've got him in 15 leagues.
I think you're in what, 30?
Yep. Got 2 more today and another one on Wednesday, and then I'm done drafting. Another running back that got cut yesterday, which isn't that big of a surprise to me, but C.J. Spiller, who made his name big in Buffalo, five seasons there, had an 1,000-yard season. His stats have gone down since 2012. 1 year with the Saints, had 112 rushing yards. I mean, his stats have gone down. Is this guy's career over?
It would seem like it. He's gone from Buffalo and being Matthew Berry's golden child to New Orleans and not doing anything, and then he's gone from
the Jets and Seahawks last season.
Yeah, he's been everywhere. So yeah, I would imagine that's pretty much it for the Spiller.
An all-pro Denver Broncos safety, T.J. Ward, was cut yesterday after 3 seasons in Denver. He spent 4 years in Cleveland before that, but breaking news last night, he signed with the Buccaneers.
Like the Bucs, they're
1-year deal.
Making good moves.
So he'll be opening the season playing the Dolphins. Now, does that make the Buccaneers, I listened to a few shows on the way in, and that was one of the main topics was T.J. Ward. Does that make Tampa Bay's defense, a little better?
It makes it better for sure.
Probably somebody you're still not probably drafting, or
no, like in an IDP league, probably
yeah.
not. I think there's plenty of safeties out there. I know both Packers safeties do well. I know the Giant safety, Landon Collins, is great. Your guy in Miami,
Rashad.
Yeah, he's a monster. This kid in New York with the Jets is supposed to be really good. So I don't know. I mean, still, it's a great move for Tampa. But I don't think a lot of people play IDP. I think only crazy
people like
psycho people like us do that.
I actually had Ward in one of my leagues, and then the next morning I heard about the trade rumors, and if he doesn't get traded, he's going to get cut. And it's like, you know what? I'm just going to let this guy go, pick up somebody that I know is going to play. But what else did we want to get into the next segment? I know we have a special little giveaway if you're listening.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to have a little giveaway of courtesy of one of our amazing sponsors,
Safari Carpet Cleaning.
And when we come back, I'm going to talk about some of these little trends I'm noticing that kind of want to tell people, hey, think about what you're doing because
think before you do it.
You're digging yourself a hole here, and you might regret it. So and then word out of Kansas, Victor Cruz played New York. Good job, you called it. I was incorrect.
Okay. Well, I need to get a McDonald's. Does he like McDonald's, or is he a vegan too? I have to send him some soup or whatever the hell you guys eat.
Hey, he went to Kansas, man. He's probably out there grazing right now.
All right. Well, ESPN Bakersfield is not only your home for the Raiders, Major League Baseball, but we are also the home for college football and Garces High School football. Tune in to ESPN Bakersfield all week. Later this afternoon, we'll have the good old Red Sox taking on the Yankees pregame starting at 3:30 p.m. Cubs and Pirates tomorrow at noon. Georgia Tech taking on Tennessee pregame starting at 4 p.m. on that one. Garces got their butt whooped last night right here on ESPN Bakersfield. I think it was 56-0 in Anaheim.
That's rough.
It was. But I think it was an exhibition, so I don't think it really counts for anything. But they are going up to Tehachapi.
Oh, Tehachapi.
Should be a little colder there, but with the one and only Ralph Bailey calling the games next Saturday, 7 p.m. Garces at Tehachapi. And when we come back, we'll talk fantasy right here on ESPN Bakersfield, 12:30 a.m.
98.1 FM.
Call in with your fantasy questions or comments at 842-2000 and check out the Fantasy Breakdown on Facebook with up-to-date NFL news and injury updates. Now, back to the Fantasy Breakdown.
Welcome back to the Fantasy Breakdown right here on ESPN Bakersfield. I also wanted to mention a thing that I forgot to mention. Next week, we're going to do football picks.
Oh, that's right.
I'm going to pick 7 games. All you got to do is call in. You beat me into Earffman, you win a Muertos gift card.
We'll take like, I don't know.
How easy is that?
We'll take like caller 37.
Yeah. Caller 37. And another thing, if you missed any shows that you want to check out, you can always check them out on Facebook. Just look up the Fantasy Breakdown, and you can skip. There's no commercials.
Browse through.
Check it out. Browse it. It's been very busy, and I wanted to do a special giveaway thanks to Safari Carpet Cleaning.
Yes, I'd like to thank them very much for this.
We're going to go with a badass giveaway. Since you woke up early with us, the 5th caller at 842-2000 will win a free home carpet cleaning up to 3 bedrooms.
And a living room and a hall.
Yeah. And if you're not the 5th caller, you can always call 330-8463, get a 10% off discount. Just mention the Fantasy Breakdown.
Just mention the show, that's right.
So caller 5 at 842-2000. What you got over there, Earffman?
After caller 5 gets in here. No, so I just want to kind of talk about something I'm noticing in the drafts here, okay? So there's been a couple trends, a couple things that people are doing, and a couple myths, if you will, and I would like to tell you guys, let's pump the brakes a little bit, all right? Let's back up. Okay, let's think about what we're doing. Let's think about your team a little bit here, okay? So first thing I want to talk about is Ezekiel Elliott. Okay, I'm getting tired of talking about the Cowboys, but he's such an important cog in the whole fantasy realm and your team and this and that. Okay, now there's this myth kind of going around that I've read and I've seen on other things where people are like, oh my God, if you let Zeke return to pick 1 or pick 2, then you've lost the whole thing. Okay, people are saying that for everyone else from pick 3 through 10, it's your job to take Zeke away from pick 1 and 2 and to not let him return to Bell or Johnson's owners. Okay, now I understand that logic, but I kind of wanted to say no. You know, I don't feel that way. Okay, and I want to tell you guys out there listening. Okay, Zeke's suspension. This is an odd scenario happening right now, okay? And he's either going to play week 1 and then be suspended, or he's not, or they're going to postpone it the whole year, or you may not get him until week 8. Remember, it's a 6-game suspension, and they're off in week 7. They don't return till week 8. You know, so this is like I said, it's a really interesting situation, okay? And it comes at a high price. And so my advice to you guys, okay, that are either drafting is, just do you, and you get the players you want. Okay, you don't owe anybody anything. You don't need to go out there and keep Elliott away from these first 2 guys, Bell and Johnson owners. Okay, last year in the league I was in, I owned both Le'Veon Bell and Ezekiel Elliott, and I had a great season.
I bet you did,
but I did not win the league. I was beat. Okay,
you choked
in my league. Okay, the league I run. Okay, another guy had the same combination. He had Ezekiel Elliott and Le'Veon Bell. He didn't even make the playoffs. Okay, and he had a good team. It's not like he drafted crap around it. Okay, so my point is you can beat them. Okay, Bell was only out for 3 games last year, I think it was.
4, yeah.
I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but you can do that. So you don't have to go do this, okay? So like I said, there's this little myth going on right now that, oh, you have to do that. No, you don't. You make sure that you draft the best team possible for you, and don't worry about anybody else. Okay, so I'm going to go get somebody who's going to make it
Score some points.
You know, who's going to play the whole season for me, or most of. You know, it's not going to start the season out on the IR, or not on the IR, but like suspended, or you know, vice versa. You know, because who knows what's going to happen when he comes back. You know, and not true. You know, it's just a big risk.
I think I think they have until Tuesday or Wednesday at 1 p.m.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, so word is going to come out on Tuesday, I guess, on the whole deal. So,
and if there is no deal, I believe by Tuesday he's going to suit up for week 1.
He'll suit up for week 1. Yeah. You know, plus like they filed this whole restraining order or something. I forget what it was. Basically, like an injunction or something. I'm probably using that word wrong. Kyle Jones,
please.
He'll probably come down here and slap me for me. Don't you ever say the word injunction on the radio again. You're too stupid to use it.
That ain't even a word.
You know,
you said it way wrong.
But anyway, yeah. So I just want to let people know that to not worry about that.
Big congratulations to Jeremy. He won the carpet cleaning by Safari Carpet Cleaning.
Congratulations!
Yeah, he's a happy man. He said he was going to get out of the den and go wake up his mom and tell him. That's my fantasy football buddy right there.
Whatever works, man. Yeah.
Mom, I'm getting the carpet cleaned just by listening to fantasy football. There you go.
That's good stuff.
That's the kind of love we get.
Thanks again to Safari Carpet for that. All right, so the other thing, another one, okay, that I'm noticing a little trend of is people thinking that they can do the no running back strategy, okay, which can be a great strategy, and then going out and grabbing Doug Martin as their running back 1.
Yep.
Okay, now I sort of want to let you guys know, like I said, let's pump the brakes on this. Okay, let's think about what we're doing here, okay? Doug Martin suspended for 3 games. Okay? Not going to start the season. So now you got to find somebody else and hope that you get old hot tub time machine, Jacquizz Rodgers, old jacuzzi. Okay? So, and people forget, too, Doug is like, I don't know what he is. I don't know if he's great or if he's not great because he's back and forth.
Yeah, he shows both.
Okay, he's now true 2 years ago, I believe it was 2015. I think he led the NFL in rushing yards. I don't remember if he led the NFL in rushing yards, but he had 1,400, just over 1,400 yards. All right, he had like 6 touchdowns and a few catches. Okay, so he's done. He has it's there, but then he's also he followed that up the next year. I know he was hurt. Okay, but he was only averaging 2.9 yards a carry. Okay, don't quote me YPC for fantasy. Look, dude, that's the way it was working. That's the way it was going for him that year. Okay, he had over 140 carries. And he was only averaging 2.9. That's not attractive. Okay, that's not running back 1 material. Okay, and then back in 2014, so before his great year in 15, same kind of thing. He only had 490 yards. 2013, 450 yards. 2012, 1,450. Okay, so yes, the talent is there. He can do it, but you don't want to go out and make that your running back 1.
No.
Okay, and that's what I'm trying to get people.
I have him as a backup, I believe, but
like people are going out and grabbing him now
early
in like the 4th or 5th round. Okay, that's attractive. It does seem good in theory. It's good stuff. But like I said, let's pump the brakes here. Let's think about what you're doing, and not go out and just completely
blow your season.
Use him as like your crutch or whatever like that. That's where I'm going. That's who's he's going to anchor my backfield. I mean, if you end up with these other Dougs, it's not going to be good for you. So grab somebody else. If you want to do no running back, just don't take Doug Martin as your RB1. Get him as an RB2. Go get somebody else. I don't know, C.J. Anderson or Carlos Hyde, like we were talking about. Okay, get him up around the 4th or 5th round.
And then hopefully Doug Martin will come and save the day as an RB2 or RB3.
Then grab him or grab DMC.
Tampa Bay's getting better, and that offense is getting better with Deshaun now, and Winston's getting into his own. He's only taking steps forward, but I can see that. I've seen in a couple drafts Doug Martin going quick, and McFadden.
Yeah,
this. I understand the Zeke thing, but if you're reaching for McFadden for a starting running back, it's going to be a long season.
Well, hey, just remember, you guys out there. All right, this is the last week. We're going to the drafts. We'll be back soon. We'll be back next
football.
Week. Yeah, we got live football coming. And look, hey, just remember, you're playing with friends, family, coworkers. You know, drama happens in fantasy football. I've been a part of it. I've been guilty of it. You know, just remember.
I've seen it.
Just remember, it's supposed to be fun. Have yourselves a good time.
Make some money
Best
with
of
friends.
Yeah, best of luck to all of you out there. You know, just enjoy it. Enjoy it, man.
Catch us next Sunday, starting at 8 a.m. Some lucky caller is going to win some free Muertos food if they can beat us in football picks.
Yeah, if they can. You know, that's not going to happen, though. I like tacos, even if they're filled with soy.
Everybody enjoy your 3-day weekend. Catch us next week on ESPN Bakersfield, 12:30 a.m.
98.1 FM.